Uganda dragged to East African court over refusal to reopen places of worship. Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us live on Projan Media TV. That brings the latest news and the latest updates in the country and across the world. Kindly do one thing, subscribe and turn on the notification button for all these updates. The government of Uganda has been dragged to East African Court of Justice over its international refusal to reopen places of worship. On 18th of June, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni imposed a second total lockdown of 42 days to curb the spread of COVID-19, that is the second wave. After 42 days, some sectors such as public transport were allowed to operate at 50% level. Arcades were also allowed to open. Business centers such as Kikuubo were also allowed to open. However, places of worship were kept closed for other 60 days. The three concerned citizens, Bishop Jack Barlow from reigning in Life Ministries, Matanda, Abubaker, Hassan, and Namukisa, Josephine, say government reopened places like business centers, which are more congested with people and less organized than places of worship. Through their lawyer Daniel Waliemera, the applicants want the East African Court of Justice to declare that continued enforcement of a ban and or suspension on religious freedom by the government is a violation of freedom of religion, conscience, and belief, and a stated fundamental civic right protected under Article 6 of the East African Treaty that enjoins partners states to govern following the principles of good governance. Other declarations included that the effect of the presidential directives has a chilling effect on the right to freedom of religion, belief, and conscience, which is a breach of Article 6 and 7 of the treaty. They want the court, therefore, to order the government to cease the enforcement of the ban and or suspension of the religious freedoms. They also want an order that allows places of worship to reopen on similar terms as other public places in respect of their beliefs with observance of COVID-19, standard operating procedures, there is SOPs, and a permanent injunction restraining the government from enforcing any oppressive SCOPs against places of worship. While addressing journalists at Makerere University on Tuesday, Matanda said that the government indiscriminately closed the places of worship, which goes against several human rights and abuse of various obligations that places of worship ought to do in various communities of the country. He added on saying that they all know that they are living in unprecedented times with a pandemic in their midst, but as they wait, they might be aware. States and governments like ours don't have a very good record of respecting human dignity and rule of law, and so every time you give them chance, even in the state of crisis, to issue unilateral and arbitrary orders and SOPs, they often abuse that space. Therefore, they are saying for purposes of places of worship, the SOPs put on them are also too discriminatory, unreasonable, and not justifiable, and they are likely to worsen the situation. Bishop Barlow also added that if the government can allow a market barriers where people are coming from different places, how about places of worship where people are disciplined? There is a very clear hierarchy, high order and hygiene, and high level of leadership. He said that the excuses government is giving why churches are still closed and not justifiable. This is indeed a cry they are passing out where they feel that there is an injustice that is being perpetuated, which can be corrected, and for lack of an avenue of how they have chosen to take. So there are pleading with the government to reconsider its directive because it's infringing on the right of every individual. Namukisa also wondered why places of worship were not considered by the government as important as other reopened sectors. Excluding places of worship from essential sectors was not good at all because that is where most of them or most of us run for spiritual empowerment. And this pandemic has left many people troubled psychologically. And the only way is to open places of worship to counsel troubled people. And she added on saying that when she lost her father last, it was one of the hurting moments, but not being able to hear from her pastor in charge of spiritual well-being regularly made the situation all the worse. Therefore, she thinks that people who advise the president don't attend churches and they can't count for the reason why places of worship must be opened. Well, that is it for now. Uganda has been dragged to the East African Court over refusal to open places of worship. Well, we'll keep on updating with more of this. Just kindly do one thing: subscribe and turn on the notification button for all these updates. Once again, thanks for watching Projan Media TV.